Hello everyone, welcome back to
the Spicy Bookish Podcast
with me, Nikita,
and me, Tia,
also known as Ginger and Spice.
Beautiful, beautifully done.
Got it down to a T.
Oh, smashing it!
Okay, so this is going to be our Mafia Romance podcast, and for a bit of background, guys, it's actually Saturday, and we always film on Saturdays. We always film the podcast on Saturdays. However, this one should have been filmed last Saturday, or at the very latest, sort of Monday, Tuesday, if we're really struggling for time. We're filming this a week late. Today we should really be filming our 5 chilli reads.
Yeah.
Which is now going to have to be filmed on like Monday, Tuesday. Because we tried to film this the other day, and actually we did film it, technically, if we're, being specific, we did film it. However, we kept getting thrown out of the software. Both of us, at separate times. So every sort of it could be anywhere from a minute to 4 or 5 minutes, but we never got a run longer than a few minutes to talk.
Terrible, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Do you know what, thinking about it now, we should do a snippet of it.
Yeah, we'll do, because I've kept it. That's a good idea.
Have you kept it?
Yeah.
Do a snippet and say how it can go wrong, and that should be a post.
Yeah. So you might see it online. I might put a post on socials, just to show that it doesn't always run smoothly at all.
I think I said fuck about 8,000 times.
No, I think we said cunt about 8,000 times.
Oh yeah, we used the C word.
Yeah, Tia dropped the C-bomb, which is rare for Tia.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
So that's how you know it's
a
bad.
very polite C-bomb, I might add.
Oh, you can't.
Oh, you darn little
absolute cunt. That was me.
Apologies if someone's just walked into your room that you're watching this in, or you're in the car and you've got your window down. Whatever.
Who doesn't like a bit of casual cunting? Yeah. I am for it.
Yeah.
It's better when you say it though, because you're more aggressive.
Because it's a bit more. I am just in general more aggressive. Yeah. Cunt. Ah, you fucking cunt.
Oh, you cunt. Yeah, I like it.
What was I saying? Yeah, so it didn't really go to plan, and we stopped maybe. So when we were filming it, we were like, oh, we can actually make this a pretty quick one, compared to how long we usually film, which could be sort of 2 to 2.5 hours. We thought this could probably be an hour and a half, maybe maximum, full raw footage filming. And I think it was an hour and 10 or an hour and 15 minutes, and I think we got on about 3 books in, and that was us rushing talking about the books, because we were talking so fast because we were trying to beat the software before it kicked us out again. And we kept having to be when it came back online, oh, where was I? Because you're mid-sentence. So then when you're trying to mash it together and edit it together in the software after, your tone of voice, the cadence of your voice doesn't marry up then, because you'll be mid-sentence and you could be like, oh my God, I loved it so much. And then the next time you go back to it, you're thinking, right, I got to that point. So then you go, oh my God, yeah, I loved it so much.
Yeah, it was
but
really
then
great.
The tone of the sentence doesn't marry up to where you finished it a minute ago.
No, yeah.
These are first world problems, guys. I'm absolutely aware of that. But you know that we like to keep it real, and we don't like to pretend that everything is all sunshine and rainbows all the time. We're very open about the fact that this is a very tiring quote unquote job. We have a lot on our plates. Our schedule is a fucking madness, which I don't even want to. We'll talk about that on Monday or Tuesday, what our schedule and our reading schedule has looked like recently, and what it looks like over the course of the next couple of months, because it's absolutely insane. But yeah, we just try to be honest about it, really. I know a lot of it can seem maybe with a lot of creators that they really have their shit together, and everything flows and all the content is really great, but what you don't see is the retakes and the phone dying, the battery dying in your phone, and you have to wait 20 minutes before you can film it again, and then you're late for dinner with your family, and all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, which is really small stuff.
It's utter carnage.
It is. It makes it complete carnage, and, we're vocal in the fact that we do struggle a lot of the time to keep everything going. Yeah. We live in what, I'm sure we said this in a previous one, or it might have been in the Mafia one, everything that we do and the way that we live and survive is organised chaos. And I cannot stress that enough. It is strictly organised chaos. Utter fucking chaos. But we know the chaos, and we can see the method and the madness, and that's all that matters, I guess. But yeah, it doesn't always go to plan. It's not always easy. In fact, I'd go out on a limb and say it's actually never easy. To be honest, not to put anyone off. I think we've made it difficult for ourselves by having a podcast.
Oh, we make it 10 times worse for ourselves. Do you know what? It's not even the podcast. The podcast is actually fine. It's everything else that we squeeze in between all that.
Yeah, that's fair, actually.
We make it so much worse for ourselves.
Yeah, we go, should we do that? Or should we just read this one? Even though we've got 8 books left to finish that week.
Honestly,
yeah, that sounds good. Why don't we read that?
Yesterday, I put, don't know why, for a laugh, I put 5 books into my I'm currently reading. When I was already drowning in books. I've already got 7 in there. Half of which I've started. Then I was like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll chuck in another 5. Why not?
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea, that.
Yeah, that's made me feel infinitely not better.
Yeah, that's worked.
Yeah.
I feel great. Oh, woohoo! Let's do it.
We send there's these like 2 gifts that we just regularly send to each other that describes our state of mind, and it's basically Tia sends me a gif of someone just floating in the water drowning, and I send her the one of it's like a dead skeleton fairy with a pink tutu on and a wand just prancing around. And that's me. And that basically describes us 99.9% of the time.
Just getting through, really.
Yeah.
It's fine, isn't it? It's all fine. Chuck a couple more books in there. I'll get round to that.
I think it's important, like, so we handle, I'd say the 2 of us handle the stress of being overwhelmed very differently. So I go so far the opposite way of stress when I become overwhelmed, where I just go, do you know what? It'll all work out in the end. And I start just airy-fairying it all around the place. It's fine. It'll all be absolutely fine. And that's my, like the gif of the person that's just sitting there surrounded by fire with the phrase, it'll be fine. That's me when I get really stressed or overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But you do start to feel like you're drowning, and you start being like, you start panicking about shit, and then you just do nothing.
It turns into utter fucking chaos. Yeah. Oh my God. I don't even know what happened yesterday. I think I said I sent you about 8,000 messages, none of which made sense. But you managed to piece it together. You was like, wow, that was a journey you just went on. Yeah. I'm glad we're at the other end. Yeah. We're not. Still got those extra 5 books I need to read tomorrow.
Basically, we ended yesterday with just sending each other those gifts. Yeah. Tia drowning and me being a dead fairy in a tutu.
And that was after we'd had a wine. That was at like 9 o'clock last night. Just to round off the day.
Fuck it, it'll all be fine.
It'll be fine. I'm just going to drown tonight.
Yeah. Tia sent me a message yesterday. I'm just remembering it now. And when I tell you, I was physically crying my eyes out. She said, I had to compose myself and come away from the messages where she was like...
I was just remembering.
She was like talking about all the stuff. She was talking about all the stuff that we had to do, all the books she needed to read, and she was like, "Do you know what? Actually." I can't myself. She was like, "Actually, do you know what? I might just pass away. It'll be easier." I was like,
honestly, at that moment, I was like, I think that was when I had my breakdown and I had 5 books to my currently reading. Yeah. And I was like, right, so we're filming Chilli Reads on Tuesday, and then we've got to film Why Choose
on the Saturday.
On the Saturday. was like, right, I'll get those books in. And then I was like, so I've got 13 books to read this week.
Like 6 days.
Do you know what? I might just physically pass away. That actually seems easier. Yeah. Actually, I'll do that instead.
Because I'm going again now. My stomach hurts and I'm actually crying, and I don't have waterproof mascara on.
Honestly, yesterday was a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was just at work.
But
like,
then
it wasn't even.
But then we got like 2/3 of the way through the day, and then got an email from a major brand, basically confirming the brand deal, and they're going to send the contract over. And we were like, sure, let's just add something else.
I
really
love adding
stressful.
things to my day. It feels really great.
I mean, obviously, it's really good for us.
Yeah.
It's our first major brand deal, which, you know, congratulations to us too.
Yeah.
But oh my god, we were just like, yeah, sure.
You was like, I'm gonna go and celebrate.
Yeah,
We did celebrate
by passing away.
by physically passing away, but
Just
waking up
not
again
doing
this
any of
morning.
it. Yeah.
Let's just forget about. Let's sidebar that until we need to actually physically do it.
Yeah, this morning I was having my coffee and I was like, I really need to be like doing socials or reading a book or doing something. And do you know what I did? Nothing. I did nothing. Just sat there doing fuck all.
As well, because I said to you, I think I messaged you and was like, I'll do socials when I get home.
Yeah.
Didn't go home, had some wines. Didn't get home till like 10:30. Then I was like, I just won't do that now. It's 10:30. I've had a few wines. Gonna have another one. Gonna go to bed. Woke up at 7 this morning and was like, I don't want Nikita to see that I haven't done the socials. I'm gonna do it now. So 7, one eye open. I'm there, just replying to everyone. I apologise, actually, if you've seen what I replied to you, because I don't know if it made sense, but
One eye
Why
open,
not?
still half cut.
yeah, at least you got something. That's what we.
If it's gibberish, this is just the point that we're at now.
Yeah.
Anyway, what have we come here for? Not this. We're here for Mafia. That's
Oh.
right. Actually, so to confirm, we're filming Mafia today, which is a week late. Then we're filming our 5 chili. This is for the podcast, by the way. Then we're filming our 5 Chili Reads podcast on Monday, and then on Saturday we're filming Why Choose.
Oh, it's a big week, isn't it? I'm already drowning.
Yeah,
Oh lordy,
it'll be fine.
it'll all be fine.
Okay, I'm halfway through my drink, and we haven't even spoken about anything that we came here to talk about.
Woohoo!
I hope you enjoyed us having a little mentee bee there.
It's because we didn't meant to be fully like to each other, so it was nice that we got to do that.
Yeah, so we just had a live on-air mental breakdown.
Yeah.
I hope everyone enjoyed
I needed
it.
that.
Yeah.
I needed that a
Feel better
lot.
now. Yeah.
I'm glad you were there.
I'm
with us.
mildly not drowning anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mafia Romance. Let's quickly run through the books that we're each going to talk about. I was going to say I don't have many, but it's because so I've got 5 books, but 4 of them are from the same series, which is the Queens and Monsters series by JT Geissinger. And then my 5th book is Orion Rule by Sadie Kincaid. So that was nice and easy for me. And I did enjoy all of these, to be honest, all for very different reasons, which obviously I'll get into. But the way I'm going to talk about them is I'm going to talk about Ruthless Creatures on its own. Then I'm going to talk about books 2, 3, and 4 together jointly. I'm probably not going to give like a full rundown because they all kind of follow the same similar pattern plot-wise. They're all sort of interconnected, obviously. And then I'll talk about Orion Rule at the end. So technically I'll have 3 goals for 5 books. Do you want to tell the people what books you're going to talk about?
Yes, so I'm going to talk about Nero by S.J. Tilly. I'm going to talk about Steel and Sin by Rhea Wilder, and I'm going to talk about Hunt the Villain and Kiss the Villain by Rina Kent. I did also do Beautifully Cruel and Cruel Paradise by JT Geissinger, but I didn't take enough notes, and it was just fine. Like, it's not something that I really am that bothered about going into.
What did you give them, stars and chilies? Do you know what you did? Because then you can just tell the people now what you gave the stars and chilies.
What, those 2?
Yeah.
I gave Beautifully Cruel 4 stars and 3 chilies, and I gave Cruel Paradise 3.5 stars and 2.5 chilies.
Okay. So, okay. 4 stars is still good, though.
Yeah, like, I enjoyed it, and I liked how it ended, but, like, looking back on it, it just wasn't anything, like, nothing really happened that it was, like,
You did have a good time, but it wasn't that memorable. Yeah, I get what you mean.
It was just fun.
Yeah, I think I've done that as well. Like, I've given books like 5 stars, and that Gothicana is a prime example.
Yeah.
I think I gave that 6 stars, but could I tell you anything about it? Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, I think it's just, you can have a good time in the moment and then, you know, sort of be like, well, it wasn't really that memorable, but I know I had a good time reading it.
I enjoyed it at the time, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we're going to start with me, and I'm going to do Ruthless Creatures, and then the last book in this is going to be Kiss the Villain and Hunt the Villain. We know that lots of people are talking about that at the moment and reading Hunt the Villain, so we want to give that the time it deserves at the end. I haven't read that, by the way, only Tia has read that. It's unlikely I'll do any of the Rina Kent verse. I can't remember if I've already said that or not, but I know you've started, and I think you know, when you start reading that kind of thing, you get to know where all of the other books are in the verse, in the universe.
It's really confusing because there's so many names. I think you'd hate it because there's so many names.
Yeah.
There's so many names, and I think everyone is kind of in all of the books, and all of the books are all happening at the same time. However, I mean, it's up and down. We done God of Malice, we didn't like it. I done Kiss the Villain. I mean, I'll tell you what I thought of that later. But Hunt the Villain was fucking insane. So if there's any other books in her verse that were like Hunt the Villain, then I'd give it a go. But if all of the books are like God of Malice, I don't want to read them.
Yes, that's the trouble though. Do you have to go through, like, you know, every 4th book is a Hunt the Villain type good one? Do you know, is she really going to absolutely smash it out of the park every single book? And I know that that's not possible for any author, by the way, I get that. But when you've got a universe that big where they all tie into each other, it's like, it almost feels like a never-ending series, and that kind of puts me off because I'm like, I'd want to read the whole universe because they're all connected to each other.
Yeah. Also, a lot of people do like God of Malice, and we obviously didn't like it.
Yeah, didn't gel with it.
So if other people say, yeah, but the other ones are really good, but you like God of Malice and we didn't, then how can we trust that?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think it's one of those things where you just don't know until you try it.
Yeah.
But it's unlikely I'm probably going to go on that journey. So you're going to have to rely on Tia for the Rina Kent verse.
I will try my hardest.
However, am 100% going to go into the LJ Shen verse, which isn't as widely known, obviously, as the Rina Kent verse. But I was reading up about it. I did send you screenshots the other day, but I don't know if you read them properly. And I didn't realise they all tied into each other so much. And I think a lot of people also didn't realise until they read Handsome Devil and was like, well, hold on, because that's a different series to the Bad Bishop series. But yet they are so closely linked. And it was definitely, there's a scene, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a scene involving a dance. And I think a lot of people, including myself, because people have mentioned it in the comments, had a bit of a light bulb moment where they were like, oh, well, fucking hell, holy shit, that was you.
Yeah.
So that's where I realised they were all so closely linked. And the other day yesterday I was on LJ Shen's website and I was looking at how linked they all are, and there is lots of interconnection. So I'm going to definitely try and get through all of them, really, especially the ones that are connected. Okay, so let's get into it finally after 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to go into Ruthless Creatures by JT Geissinger, which is actually here behind me. If you're watching it on video, you can see I actually did start making, can you see that? Annotations. And then I just got so sucked into it that I forgot. And it got to a point where I was like, I've left it a little while now. So that's pointless.
Yeah, fair play.
So I just made notes in my notebook instead. But I did highlight some quotes and stuff like that in there. But I did have a good time. It's not that long of a book either. You know, they're really easy to get through. And all the books in the series do follow a similar pattern, you know, of some level of either kidnapping or forced proximity with the head of a mafia, you know, a branch of a mafia. So I'm going to reel it off as I think I remember it. So Ruthless Creatures, the FMC and the MMC are Natalie and Cage, Nat, also known as Nat. And Cage is, if I've remembered and understood it correctly, so I didn't write it down, is the head of the New York branch of the Russian mafia. And then book 2 is Declan, and he becomes, I believe, the head of the Irish mafia. And those two stories are directly linked, which I'll get into when I start talking about the rest of them. So book 2 is Declan and Sloane is the FMC Nat, in book 1, it's her best friend. And then book 3 is Sloane's sister. And you don't really get to know Sloane's sister up to that point, but you know that she has one, but they're not very close. So that kind of like, the FMC and the MMC of book 3 is a little bit like, we actually don't have any backstory on them. We don't really know them at all. Sort of until the very end of the previous book. Then book 3, the MMC, is sort of like, it's like a hitman for Cage, if I remember rightly, from book 1. And then book 4 is Declan, the MMC from book 2, one of his like little lackeys, sort of second or third in command. It's about him and him being in an arranged marriage with someone else from one of the other mafia families, Italian mafia family, I believe. And that one actually I am looking forward to talk about, because so a lot of people have said that book 1 and book 4 are the favourites. For me, book 4 was the one that I least vibed with.
Right.
And I'll talk about that when we get to it. Book 1 was my favourite. So to do my ratings to start off with, I gave Ruthless Creatures, book 1, 4.5 stars, and I gave it 4 chili peppers. There's a whole bit in the middle where it's just all spice.
Yeah.
And this is why I deducted 0.5 of a star and didn't give it 5, because it got to a point, it was just all spice and no plot at all. Like nothing else was happening except them just getting it on in some like romantic development. And I was like, you know, looking at my watch like, what's fucking, there's a lot going on here around you that everyone just seems to have forgotten about.
Yeah.
Whilst you're just fucking for weeks on end. So can we like get a move on? Like, or at least do something in between. So that's the only reason I took off that. And I'm not gonna lie, like I enjoyed the spice, and there is a very specific scene which I'll talk about that I absolutely loved. But he is very direct, so he says it how it is. There's no fucking around, there's no miscommunication. You know, apart from omitting very important details, he's very direct in, I want you and I want to be with you. And that I did like. He has a filthy mouth. She spanks him. And he spanks her.
Woo!
2-way spanking, which was fucking great.
2-way spankage.
Yeah, it was, oh my God. There was so much spanking. I read so many books like back to back, because there's spanking through basically all of these books. So Ms. Geissinger obviously has a bit of a spanking kink, which
girl.
I'm on board with. But and there was other books that I read outside of this where there was also a lot of spanking, and I was like, what is going on this week? Like, I didn't mean to do this. Like, I literally read about spanking so much. It felt like my own bum was sore. You know what I mean?
I don't think I've spanked. Like, I haven't read about spanking at all in the last week.
Yeah, that's because they've all been with
yours.
me. Yeah, they've been in my Goodreads.
Yeah, fair play.
Anyway, let's get into the rundown. So, we've got Nat. This is going to be really quick, by the way, because the books aren't that long. So, you've got Nat/Natalie, who is grieving the loss of her fiance, who disappeared, not died, disappeared 5 years ago to the day. And that day was the day before they were due to get married. So the day before the wedding, 5 years ago, he just literally disappeared off the face of the earth. Mm-hmm. And she sort of said, the book sort of opens with them being like, it's been 5 years, and after 5 years, in the state that they're in, they are legally declared dead after that long. So it's a very important anniversary. Now, every year on the anniversary, the day that he disappeared and the day of what should have been their wedding, she gets absolutely rat-arsed. She gets pissed as a fart. So basically, she goes out with her best friend Sloane, goes to this bar, and in the bar, there's this really hot, handsome man who is described to look like Jason Momoa.
Yeah, straight away, I'm getting in there.
Immediately, yes. Immediately, yes, I'm on board. I'm like, oh my God. As soon as he said Jason Momoa, I was like, oh yeah.
I would climb him
all over that.
like a fucking tree.
Man spread in the corner with a glass of whiskey or whatever he had. I think he had sunglasses on as well, which I don't usually like sunglasses inside, but if you look like Jason Momoa, so you can do whatever you fucking want.
Fucking wear anything and I'm down.
And he's also described to have baseball mitt hands.
Yeah,
so
that's
massive,
a bit
and I
new.
know you like massive,
Fucking
massive
love
hands.
Plates for hands.
Plates
yes,
for
please.
hands, yeah. So basically, he's sitting in the corner of this bar, and Sloane, her best friend, is like so uber confident. Like, she does not take a knock to her confidence, even if she's, you know, turned down by someone. Like, she's like, she knows she's got it, you know, but she's like funny with it, not bitchy with it, if that makes sense. She's a great character. Anyway, Sloane's like, I'm gonna shoot my shot. So Nat goes to the toilet, Sloane goes to shoot a shot, and then she kind of comes back over and she's like, nah, I wasn't interested. She was like, he didn't even lift his head up and he said to me, I'm not interested. And she was like, nah, okay. And then walked away, completely unbothered by the interaction, didn't give a shit. And then Sloane's like, you know, but he keeps eye fucking you from over the bar, like he's proper staring at you, to Nat. And Nat's like, oh, fucking hell, like, it's getting awkward now, like, proper staring at me. Anyway, a bar woman comes over and she's, like, serving them drinks, and she's like, oh, my God, the guy over there. She's like, did you know he's your new neighbour, to Nat? And she's like, what? She's like, yeah, he's moved into the house next door to yours. And she's like, fucking hell, I didn't even know that. Anyway, there's a conversation that her and Sloane have where Sloane's a bit like, you know, I don't want you going home alone tonight because it's the anniversary and blah, blah, blah. And Nat's like, no, I just want to be by myself. You know, please, whatever. So Nat's like, right, let me go and ask him if he'll give us a lift home because he's my neighbour. So she goes over there. She's sort of like fumbling over her words and stuff like that, trying to talk to this Adonis of a man. And he's like, he says something to her as he stands up, and he's like, I'm not your knight in shining armour, princess. Something like that. And she's like, oh, okay. Anyway, so they go home next morning. So fast forward to the following day. Now, this is the day of what should have been their wedding. There's a knock at her front door. She thinks it's her friend Sloane come to check on her again. So she's up the stairs and she's like, come in. So this person comes in, you know, trot, 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 trot up the stairs, walks into the bedroom, and it's Cage, the next door neighbour, and he's holding a package that was delivered incorrectly to his house. And she's like, whoa, what the fuck are you doing here? Because she's in her fucking wedding dress. Obviously, as you would. She's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And he's like, well, you told me to come in. And he was like, I was just here to deliver a package. And she was like, oh, okay, like covering herself, trying to cover up a massive wedding dress, you know, with her little arm. So she's like, just leave it on the side and go. So he's like, okay, well, whatever. And then that's it. Basically, that's sort of how it starts. And then they start to get closer. You know, they go on a date, and, you know, her friend is like, look, you really need to move on. You've had boyfriends, but you've not had any kind of connection with them. You never want to sleep with anyone. You really need to try and move on. And in Nat's head, she's like, this is the first person that stirred any kind of like sexual reaction out of me where I've felt like I want to touch them, or I've felt attracted to them. So she's like, maybe I should just explore it. So anyway, they go on some dates and stuff like that. He's kind of like, he's a bit cagey. He's a bit off with answering some questions. You know, he's sort of like, oh, I'm not here all the time. And he disappears for a while and then comes back. And obviously we know as the reader that he's, you know, part of the mafia, but she at this point does not know. So they go on one date, double date with her best friend Sloane, who's with other people. And when Cage turns up and sees the other guys there, it's very obvious that they're on two different sides of, or two different mafias. And it's obvious at that point that Cage must be very, very high up, because those guys go like white as a ghost. Anyway, it all kicks off at this place, not because of these two, but something else happens. It all kicks off, and this is the time when she learns that he's like in the mafia, and she's like, do you know what? Cool, I accept it. And I was like, okay.
You go, girlfriend. Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm not sure I would be so accepting, but sure, whatever.
I would for Jason Momoa.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's true. Anyway, so that's how it all starts and how it all kicks off. And he's sort of a little bit like, you know, I can't be here all the time and I can't move you to where I live because of your safety. I need to keep you safe. And obviously, as the reader, you're a bit like, what are you talking about? And he's sort of led to believe it's just because he's in the mafia and blah, blah, blah. But obviously, you sense and feel that there's more to the story and more going on. And that slowly trickles out. So there is a big element of mystery in this book.
Yeah.
And also surrounding her ex-fiancé, because that keeps going on in the background. And then there's this really cool mystery that happens with the fiancé, where she goes on like a bit of a Da Vinci Code-esque hunt, where he like leaves her a note and some clues and shit. And I was like, oh, I'm all about this. This is fun. Yeah, like she gets on a plane and she's going to another country. And I was like, you know, following the clues and shit. And I was like, I'm all over this. This is fun. This is super fun. I would have liked more of that trickled out throughout the book. Loved that part. Yeah, it really was brilliant. And I'm sad to not give it a 5-star, but the fucking about, quite literally, in the middle, went on just a tiny bit too long. Given that the book isn't actually that long in the first place, that just went on a little bit too long.
I think that is a Geissinger thing. Yeah. That is a theme that
It was a theme
seeing
in all of the books that I read. In every book in the series, that's where I deducted half a star in each one for the faffing about in the middle. Yeah. There was just so much spice in the middle. It's like, I actually think we probably could have cut some of this out.
Yeah.
Or at least woven more of the plot either side of it through this. Do you know what I mean? Overall, I absolutely fucking loved it.
Oh, that's good.
So my favourite quote in this was, so basically when she like starts dating him and stuff, he's like, I'm not going to kiss you until you give me permission. You have to explicitly want me to kiss you. I'm not just going to put it on you. And there's one point where he says to her, I need to kiss you. And she says, no. And he says, then come sit on my lap and let me finger fuck you while I feed you dinner. And I was like, sorry, we haven't even kissed yet. But sure. But obviously she felt like that was like really intimate. And I liked that she wasn't just like immediately straight off the bat being like, you know, oh, I'm getting the flutters, so let's just do it. She did sort of make him work for it, and he was really patient with it, but he was very direct in saying, this is what I want. And I want to kiss you. I want to do this. I want to taste you. And she was like, not yet. I'm not ready or whatever. And my favourite scene, my favourite spicy scenes, we're coming back to the spanking now.
Woohoo!
He makes like this big deal of her like, you know, not doing as she's told, of being like a bit of a brat or whatever, and he's going to spank her and stuff, and she's like, well, I've never been spanked before, but you know, she's like, oh, I think I kind of like the idea of that. So the spanking kind of becomes like a bit of a thing between them. And then I don't remember the exact conversation, but she says something along the lines of, you know, I'll spank you if whatever. And he's like, well, you can do it, go on, you can spank me. So then he's like, stand in the doorway, his back facing her, and he pulls his trousers down. If I remember rightly, he's wearing grey joggers. Anyway, he pulls his trousers down to like mid-thigh, plus his boxers, puts his hands up on the door frame, the top of the door frame, so his back and his arse are facing her. And he's like, well, come on then, do it.
Thing is, when you've said that, because I remember you saying this from the last pod, when we tried to attempt to do this pod last time, and just imagining Jason Momoa.
Those big thick thighs, just... and the ding-along just there.
With his hair. Oh.
Or a little man bun or something. Oh.
No chance.
Anyway, so she goes over and she spanks him. And then he starts obviously getting turned on.
Yeah.
He starts getting hard. And then there's a bit of pre-commage.
Ooh.
And she starts smearing it in places, and it just got very hot and steamy. And I was like, oh yeah, this, I didn't think I was... Because you know what I'm like, you know, when it's she tells a man to crawl to her. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's an ick for me.
Yeah.
I don't want a big 6'4" man on his... crawling towards me. That's not my thing. But this, for some reason, I was like, oh yeah, I'm on board with this.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind giving this a go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with Jason Momoa.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, lordy.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing I will say on this is, so I immersive read all the first 3 books. I didn't immersive read the last one. I audioed it only. Maybe that's where I went wrong with that one. No one knows. But in this one, there's a bonus chapter in the physical book that isn't in the audio. So just bear that in mind, that if you are only audiobooking it, go and have a look in the Kindle. Actually, I don't think it's on Kindle. If you're in a bookstore, just go and look for the book and then just read the last chapter from his point of view, because it's not on the audio. Yeah, just walk into Waterstones or the Works and pick it up and read the last bonus chapter. But it's from when they first met, and it's in his point of view, and I did really enjoy that.
Oh, that's nice.
That was quite nice. Audiobook, I gave actually 5 out of 5. But the overall story in the book itself, I gave 4.5 out of 5, if that makes sense. I'm sure if you're an avid audiobook listener, you'll understand why that is. Okay, I'm going to have a break now. Do you want to go?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to talk about is Nero by S.J. Tilley. So I will start by saying, like a year and a half ago now, we read King by S.J. Tilley, which is actually book 2. Probably thinking it's book 1. I don't even know why we did that.
No, I think it's because we liked... Was there something in it? We liked the story of it more. I can't remember what it was, why we chose that. We actively chose book 2.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
And it was fine. And then we should have learnt from there to just stop. Yep. Just don't bother carrying on. But you know me. I like to chuck things out there for a laugh.
You're a trier.
I really am. I am. Anyway, so I've obviously gone back. I've started this one. I'm not going to lie. It was a little bit slow. There wasn't a lot of mafiaing going on in this mafia book. And it was just, it just didn't tickle my pickles. Aww. The pickles were not tickled. So we have got in this age gap 13 years.
Wow.
So he's 39 and she's 26. She is a virgin.
Ooh.
I know. So we have got Nero and we have got Peyton. So Peyton, 26, lives on her own in an apartment. Still a virgin. So she's just one night watching a film with her popcorn, just having a lovely time. And over the way, she can see a guy that is just staring at her through her little balcony situation. And he's just coming closer and closer, close to the house, just walks straight in. Yeah, I know. Walks straight in, sits down next to her, takes the popcorn, starts having a little snack. She's like, what the fuck? Like, doesn't think, who the fuck are you? Like, get out of my house. None of that. Doesn't run away. Just takes it in her stride. So he sat next to her, eating the popcorn. They're having a little conversation, and then she falls asleep. So, yeah. So the thing about this, so the backstory to this is, when she was younger, she was abused and tortured by her father, not in a sexual way. However, the day before she ran away, she caught her dad speaking to his friends, saying, I will sell you her virginity. I know. So she shit herself. She was like, fuck, I need to get out of here. So she got out and managed to keep her virginity intact.
I think if you did that and you ran away, the first thing you would do is go and lose your virginity. So then it definitely can't be sold if you're ever caught again.
At least you give it to someone that you want to give it to.
Yeah, even if it's a stranger in a bar, like, just go and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're... I genuinely would, because then I would be like, well, now I know that if I get caught, they can't sell me for my virginity now. Yeah. And at least my virginity won't be raped out of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Anyway, so she falls asleep. So he's like, wow, this lovely lady falling asleep on me. I'm going to go and look around her house. So that's what he does. Goes and has a little look round. He gets her shower gel. Was it shower gel or conditioner? No, she gets her shower gel. Very expensive, by the way.
I feel like I know where this is going.
Gets her shower gel.
Absolutely.
Oh, he wanked with it?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that happened. Gets her shower gel, leaves $100. It's just going around her house, getting to know the place. You know how it is. He comes back down and then she's like freaking out. She's still asleep. She's like losing it. Obviously she's having really bad dreams. He's like, what the fuck has happened to you? Like, why are you this person?
Yeah.
Anyway, he leaves. She wakes up. They go about their lives. So then he's obsessed with her. He's like stalking her. He wanks with the shower gel. He's like, oh.
Does he finish
Smells
in the
like
bottle?
flowers. No.
Oh.
I know.
Mr. Trick there.
Mr. Trick. It smells like flowers. It smells like her. I love it. She works in a coffee shop, so he goes with King to the coffee shop. They're sat outside. So he tells King about her. King then goes in and is like, what's your favourite coffee? She says, oh, it's honey and some fucking shit. Something very sweet. So King buys it. And then comes back in, and then he gives it to Nero. Nero's like, "Oh, what's this shit?" And he's like, "It's her favourite drink." And he's like, "Oh, I might just drink it." I'm not gonna lie, that's basically all that happened for a lot of it. It was just him watching her from afar. He did promise her that he would kill her father, which he then did. So that was nice. Like that was necessary. He actually fed him his own finger because there's a ring that she has got like a scar on her from his ring where he used to like grab her. So he fed him his own finger, took the ring, gave it to her at a later date.
Yeah, nice.
So she knew what happened. And yeah, it was just basically them two hating each other, but, you know, getting to know each other. She'd leave the door open for him. He'd come round.
Standard.
While she's sleeping.
Yeah.
You know. The usual.
See, I mean, that's great that you're leaving the door open for him, but what if somebody else that wasn't him?
He's staying over the way, so he's watching her all the time.
Right.
If someone else came in, he'd know. I mean, obviously, at the end, she gets kidnapped. Classic.
Yeah.
Because that's what always happens in a mafia. Anyway, so the day that she loses her V-plates, so she's left the balcony door open for him to come in. She's like... She realises that the balcony door's now closed. She's like, oh, what's happened there then? She goes to the toilet. She comes back and he's sat on her bed. And that's when he's like, he wants to take her. He's ready to take that V card that he doesn't realise that she's still got.
Yeah.
And just a little titty grab is all he done before he slammed right into her.
Wow.
Yeah. No foreplay.
In a oneer.
Yep.
Wow.
Straight in there, like swimwear. Took that V card away. Then he's like, when he pulled out, there was blood on it. That made him feral. Of course, they're always feral, apparently. So he like stroked stroked all the cum and blood and gave her a little lick.
That's actually made me feel physically unwell.
No, he loved it.
Oh,
He had a really...
my eyes are watering. Oh my God.
He loved it. She loved it. Everyone loved it. That's what happened. So, you know, there was loads of different things that happened. It was his 40th birthday. She turned up. He ignored her because he didn't want everyone to know that she was his girl. And he's like head honcho in the mafia. So, you know.
I feel like head honcho in the mafia has probably got more important things to be doing than spending every day.
Surely just get your lads to protect her. Like, you know.
But how do people find him to make decisions if he's just like randomly stalking this woman? Do you know what I mean? All day, every day. It's just like, sure, you've got more important things to be doing.
Well, he doesn't.
Like not getting caught by the feds and stuff.
And, you know, he like... So, my favourite scene... So I've got to do the lead up to the favourite scene happening. So she works in this cafe and there's this guy that comes in all the time and he like gives her all the chats. And she's like, he's not for me. But then Nero's in there and he's like watching her talking to this guy. And she's like, oh no, fuck it. I'll play the game here. Yeah. I'm going for it. So she's like talking to the guy and he's like, you know, I'm doing a concert tonight. If you could come to the concert, because he's into like rock.
Nice.
Rock and heavy metal. She's like, yeah. Like, I'll come. I'll go and get a new outfit. Yeah, that sounds really good. So then Nero's like stood behind him and is like texting her. And she's like got her phone on the side and he's like, stop talking to him now. Like, you know, like sending her texts and she's like, then she turns the phone over. And like, she does all that stuff. And he's like getting more and more angry. Beautiful. Love stuff like that.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, I'll come, not a problem. So then she goes, she gets a new outfit, rock chick vibes, goes to the concert. And then he's like, I'm going to go to the fucking concert. So Nero turns up. 40-year-old Nero turns up to this concert. Doesn't even understand how a ticket system works. Because he's there on his own. He's like, what do you need from me? Like, how do I get in here? Well, just get your ticket out. Yeah, but where is that? Like, what do you mean? So he goes into the concert. He obviously finds her. They have like a little chat. And then he's like, he comes onto her, but he like wraps her so that no one else can see them. And he starts getting his fingers in there for a good old play around. And they're like grinding on each other whilst listening to this heavy rock.
Setting the mood.
Really setting the mood for a good old time. So he's like grinding on her and she's like pushing back on him. And he's got her like, you know, like it's off to the side, so it's not like visible by everyone, but he's still trying to cover her. Anyway, so he gets his cock out and he places the tip inside her booty hole. Anyway, so they're grinding, they're having a good time, and then he comes inside said booty hole, which I thought, that's a lot in it at a concert.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
That is a
lot. A lot of action. Anyway, so just as he's done that and they're coming down from their post-orgasmic
high.
Yeah. The guy that invited her there is like stood right opposite them and he's like, so she's not looking because she's all like flustered and shit.
Yeah.
But then Nero's like, boom, clocked eyes. I see you. You see me? This is what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Giving it the big guns with the eyeballs. So he's looking at him. They're both looking at each other and then Nero just pulls out. And then the cum just falls out of her bum and lands on the floor. So the guy just looks down and the cum's on the floor. And then he's like, oh, and then just rushes off.
Oh my
like,
God.
Owned
That sounds
that scene.
comedic.
It was a really good scene. I don't even think it was meant to be comedic.
I was going to say, was it supposed to be funny?
I thought it was great. He didn't pop off like that. In my head, that's what happened. In fact, in my head, a lot of what happened was funny. I was like, oh, imagine if he just popped off. Even though he just smoothly glided out.
Yeah.
Like a man. But yeah, that was...
In my head, the way you just jerked as if him pulling out, popping out, just with a little backwards thrust, no hands involved. It's just his half-hard peeing, swinging around this concert, dribbling cum on the floor. And she's just standing there, like... drip, 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 from a bumhole.
Yeah. That's what it looked like in my eyes, yeah. So that is the scene. I don't know, you know, how you would imagine it happening, but that's how it was in my eyes. So yeah, that was a really great scene. And yeah, and then the rest was just okay. She gets kidnapped at the end, which is classic.
Yeah.
He has to go and save her. All of that
Stars
shit.
and chili peppers? Did you already say that?
Oh,
Can't
no.
remember.
So I gave it 3.5 stars and I gave it 4 chilies. Because after she lost those V plates, they could not stop going at it. And obviously, anal.
Yeah.
You've got to, you know. And I gave it 3.5 because, I mean, it wasn't the best. There was not an awfully large amount of mafiaing going on.
Yeah.
And he was just following her around a lot.
Yeah.
It was like the scenes when he killed the dad. I was like, yeah, love this. Slicing off that finger.
Yeah, do you know what's funny? Because I'm reading that Addicted to Pain book, obviously, at the minute. And I got to the point where they were doing a bit of torture on the guy. And I was like, yes, yes, give me more of this. So I totally get it when you get to that point. You're like, yeah, this is what I want. Some of this kind of mafia stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just quick sidebar. We're going to talk about when we film our 5 chili reads. I've got in the podcast schedule for us to talk about how we rate our chilies, and how that compares to other people as well, because obviously it is quite subjective. So we'll talk about how we rate chilies, because obviously we just said, oh, you know, well, anal, and we rate up on chilies as soon as there's like anal, double pen, triple pen, fisting, that kind of thing. You know, how much there is and how much anal there is, like all that kind of stuff, because you could have like not that many scenes, but if every scene is triple pen, if there's like 5 scenes and each scene is triple pen and there's like 5 people in the group and it's basically a gangbang, then obviously that's going to get 5 chilies, even though there might only be 5 scenes. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it can really vary.
So when we were coming up with these books to do in this 5 chili podcast, I think I went through about 3 novellas and I got probably about halfway in each one. And then I was like, this isn't going to be a 5 chili.
Yeah.
So other people had said it was 5 chilies, so I was like, fuck it, yeah, I'll do these. And I'd gone through 3 until it got to the point where I was like, I need to just find one myself.
Yeah.
Because the scenes were just spicy scenes, but it wasn't all of everything and more. Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, anyway, we'll talk more about that when we do our 5 chili reads, because we want to talk about that more in depth, because you're right, it is so subjective that someone could be like, this is 5 chilies, but it's 5 chilies to them.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely fair. We're not saying that that's not valid or that is wrong. There are some books like where people have put it in like for example, The Female is the first book in a series by Imby Wright, and a lot of people had recommended that in 5 chili reads, and I'm like, no matter what your scale is, that is not 5 chilies. It doesn't matter what your scale is, that's not 5 chili peppers. Books 2 and 3 are 5 chili peppers, but that first one wasn't. So there are some times where it's a little bit like, where it's not subjective, if that makes sense. But yeah, like I said, we'll talk about it more in the next podcast. Okay, so I'm going to go over the other 3 books in the Queens and Monsters series by JT Geissinger. So we have Carnal Urges, Savage Hearts, and Brutal Vows. I was just having a quick look back over my notes, and actually I think I had said that Cage was like the New York branch of the Russian mafia. It is mentioned in book 1, I think, that he has some kind of like hidden Russian accent or something, so I'm not sure what the connection was, but in my notes I've written down Cage, New York mafia, Declan, book 2, is Irish mafia, Mal is in book 3 and he is Russian mafia. But he acts as sort of like a hitman for Cage, like they have a deal, which I'll come to in a second. And then obviously book 4 is Irish again, but he is like 2nd or 3rd in command or whatever to Declan from book 2. So book 2, we have book 2 is Carnal Urges, and we have Sloane, who is Nat's best friend, as I previously mentioned, and Declan, who is the head of the Irish mafia. So basically book 2 picks up exactly where what book 1 left, and it is Sloane on her way to see Cage and Nat, and so she's flying in to see them, but on the other end she ends up getting kidnapped by the Irish mafia. So she gets chucked into a car, gets taken away. She ends up being Declan's captor basically, and I'm not going to give it away, but she inadvertently starts a war between two mafias, the Irish and I think the New York or whatever, the Russians, I can't remember, basically for being hot. And they steal her, they kidnap her, because Declan wants to find out how the fuck she managed to start this war. And basically, I feel like that was just sort of used as an excuse to give us the kind of forced proximity / it was sort of a bit like, how can I get Sloane to be in the presence of this Irish person, but really quickly at the start of the book. And it was quite clever the way that she did it, but it did feel a little bit like, it felt, I don't want to say it did feel a bit forced. It felt like, oh yeah, we'll just do that. That kind of fits. Because then she was just there for a really long time and nothing was ever really addressed all that much while she was there about like how this came to happen. He wasn't trying to like get information out of her and she was just there. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Lingering around.
I feel like when I done the other two JT Geissinger Mafia books, that's kind of how that felt, because it was, everything that kind of happened was a bit pointless.
Yeah. It was why are we doing this?
Yeah, there was no like reasoning behind anything that happened. At the end of the first book, obviously there ended up being a bit of reason, but the second book was so fucking pointless.
Yeah. It just felt like that was there solely just to get them in the room together over a period of time so that they could fall in love.
Yeah.
So she gets kidnapped. She ends up making friends with all of his little Irish lackeys. You know, they kind of take a liking to her, and that pisses Declan off. Their personalities did work really well together. Sloane is a very big personality. She was very funny in book one, and I'll read you a quote now so you've got an idea of kind of like what she was like. I think it's actually on page 7 of Ruthless Creatures. So they're talking about our Jason Momoa. They're talking about Cage. Obviously, this is where they sort of see him. Nat says, he looks like he stepped right off the Sons of Anarchy set. $10 says he's a drug dealer. And then Sloane says, who cares? He could be Jack the Ripper and I'd still let him come all over my tits. And I was really laughing because I was like, this is the making of a really great FMC.
Yeah.
You know, a really feisty, kind of bratty FMC who doesn't really give a shit about the danger and all that. But she was funny. She was really funny. The only downside with her in book 2 is that I felt like the humour was too try hard. So I don't know if the feedback from book 1 was sort of like, oh, she's really funny. And then it became like she was trying to make her really fucking funny.
Right, yeah.
And it became a bit cheesy. And then some of the stuff that Declan said, like Declan was a really great character. And he was funny. And there were moments that I did laugh out loud, like quite a few. But there were also moments where I was like, this is too try hard.
Yeah.
This is a bit too try hard for me. So overall, because there were some really amazing elements to it, but there was also some elements where I was like, oh, come on. I ended up sort of right down the middle at a 3.5 star rating. So I gave it 3.5 stars and I gave it 3.5 to 4 chili peppers. So again, all the books are sort of the same chili pepper wise, where they have that bit in the middle where they just don't fucking stop. Yeah. And there was some really good scenes. In all honesty, I don't really remember any of them. I didn't write any of them down, but I did write 2 notes. One of them says tampon situation. And I've just sat here whilst you went to the toilet thinking, what tampon situation?
Interesting.
I don't remember it. It must have been so vivid at the time that I thought to myself, just write tampon and you'll know.
You'll remember.
And I don't remember. That's how unmemorable it was. And then underneath it says, the spice wasn't as good as book 1, but there was some scenes. And again, I don't remember what those scenes were. I can't remember if I've got any quotes or not. If I do, they're probably in my phone. So I immersive read this one, and the Irish accent wasn't very good, so I would say maybe eyeball this.
Who was the narrator?
So the narrators are Troy Duran, Brooke Daniels and Michelle Sparks.
Oh, Troy Duran.
I mean, all 3 of those people are immaculate.
Oh wait, he did those.
Oh, that must be a favourite of JT Geissinger then, yeah.
Oh wait, he did Pen Pal as well.
Yeah, the Irish accent just wasn't great for me. It was fine, but it just didn't give that, you know, what we all know an Irish accent gives. You know, it didn't quite hit that mark, which obviously if it's not your natural accent, or, you know, you're just not good at that accent to the degree that you need to be to sell it, then that's, you know, that's fine. But yeah, I don't really have much to say. the first two books reminded me of Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lark. If you've read that series, you'll understand what I mean. There were some funny elements to it. It was given sort of like rom-com vibes. Obviously, it wasn't as dark as, you know, Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lark. But with the Irish element, and then you've got the main guy in the first book, and then you've got like the Irish in the second, and how it all kind of interconnects. So it did remind me of that. I think if you like Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lark, I do think you'll like this series. I think you'll get on with it, especially the first two books. But yeah, also the last thing I will say is Sloane, she stuck out her tongue.
Did she?
Yeah, in this book. And if you've been around a while, you know that that is a big pet peeve for me. Immediately deducting half a star.
In what context?
Something happened. I think there was other people in the room. I can't remember. And she stuck her tongue out at him.
Right, like being cheeky.
Yeah, this way. Yeah.
Even
I can't remember the
just
exact
doing it then.
Yeah, no, it's icky, isn't it? It's just not what grown women do. It's not what grown people do at all. Like,
I have
icky.
never ever stuck my tongue out. Doing that then felt weird.
Yeah, it's not right. It's you just.
Who does that?
No.
Does anyone do that?
No, I hope not.
In real life?
No. So anyway, I gave it 3.5, and my note says she sticks her tongue out, and I'm tempted to deduct it down to a 3 just for this alone. So I've put 3 to 3.5 stars because I just don't like it. Because for me, I know it was only once, and yes, you can get over it, but it's just, it's so icky. I just don't like it. Like, people that are doing, you know, bum fun shouldn't be sticking their tongue out like that. If you're old enough to be taking it in the rear, don't be sticking your tongue out. These are duet narration, by the way, as well. So the audios are really good. Like I said, the only thing that put me off was the lack of a decent Irish accent. But the audios are really good. So that was book 2. Book 3, really quickly. Oh, let me find it in here. Where is it? Here it is. I do have a quote from this one. I actually do have some other quotes, I know I do, but they're in my phone, which is currently in use. But I'm actually going to save them for our Quotes of the Month post, I think, instead, because there is some really good ones. But I do have a quote here that isn't going to be my quote of the month, so I'll read that one to you in a second. So this is book 3. It's called Savage Hearts, and this is Riley and Mal. Riley is Sloane's sister from book 2, and Mal is Russian, and he has basically been sent to off Sloane. A lot happens in this, and there's actually sort of like a love triangle situation, sort of, which will make sense if you read it. So my ratings for this, I've put 3.5 to 4 ? And I think on Goodreads, obviously you have to round up or round down. I think I've rounded up to a 4, but somewhere in between there. So Riley's invited by her sister Sloane to go and stay with her and Declan, who's the head of the Irish mob, because Sloane wants to repair their relationship. They just don't really talk. They haven't spoken in years, and the reasons behind that become apparent, and they kind of like work through that after she gets there. So she arrives at their place, and then she realises that she's being stalked. So this guy's been sent to off her. Now, I'm pretty sure that the person that sent him was Cage. Now, don't quote me on that, but I'm sure it was Cage and they were working together. But I don't think Cage knew that this person was Sloane's sister, because Sloane's sister just hasn't really been on the scene. And bearing in mind, Cage from book 1 and Declan from book 2 are enemies. They're in different mobs. But Natalie and Sloane are best friends.
Yeah.
And now we've got Sloane's sister, who then falls in love with the person that Cage has hired to kill her. Anyway, so he's like stalking her. He turns up and he's like, fucking hell, who is this waif of a woman? She's got nothing on her. She's wearing scraggly clothes. Her hair's a mess. She's so dishevelled. He was like, she must be so poor. His internal dialogue is so funny when he's talking about her, and he calls her a waif throughout it because she's so skinny and like malnourished and shit. So he thinks initially that this woman is like a hired hooker that Declan has brought in, and Declan's mistreating Sloane, and he's hired this hooker, and that's who she is, and that's why she's all waify and thin. And that is quite funny. I did find him actually very funny. So he ends up like climbing into her bedroom and stuff like that, and then he's like, he corners her in places, and she realises she's being stalked, but same as what you said, doesn't really do much about it, you know? And he ends up trying to like give her money and starts feeling sorry for her, and he's like, here, just take it, like trying to give her money, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm rich now. My sister's like super rich now. What are you talking about? Like, what the fuck is going on? And eventually, obviously, it does become, she finds out that he thinks that she's a prostitute, and then eventually she tells him who she is. Anyway, he ends up kidnapping her. He takes her to Russia, to this like remote cabin in the woods. We love that shit. Remote cabins, snow, all that kind of shit. Yeah. And they're there for a long time. They get to know each other. I am going to say straight off the bat, and I don't think it's a spoiler because I personally think it should be in the tropes. It should be highlighted, but there is a surprise pregnancy in this.
Right.
Not until way later on, but it becomes obvious. There's, you know, when you know that that's going to come up because certain things are said, and you're like, well, obviously she's going to get pregnant. Yeah. And it was actually very nice. I actually enjoyed that. It didn't overtake the story or anything like that. It was just a part of the story. But I always think that should be listed in kind of tropes or triggers. He takes her to this remote cabin because he's like, you know, I want to get her away, but also I want to get to know her. They get close. She basically falls in love with him. And then he's sort of like, I can't keep her here any longer. That's not fair. Like, I love her so much now. Like, I'm going to let her go. So he, like, lets her go. And then she doesn't realise until the very last minute that he has engineered this for her to just go back without him. And she's fucking livid. Like, absolutely livid. Because she's like, well, I fucking love you now. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, obviously, it all kind of comes together at the end. They obviously have fallen in love and, you know, there's the baby and everything. But that's basically the gist of the story, you know? Stockholm Syndrome situation, obviously, as with all of them. And then we obviously end up, at the end of this book, you've got 3 women in love with 3 men who are high up in different mobs. Either the head of or high up in different mobs. But it's just so much to remember.
That makes absolutely no sense.
I know.
Like, how could you be sister and best friends and you're all going out with different mob
bosses of some variety? Yeah, that's basically it. So the love triangle situation, or sort of love triangle situation in this, is one of the Irish guys, because obviously she's staying with Declan, who is Irish, and with his little minions as well. And one of his like sort of second, third in command or whatever, really takes a liking to her and ends up following her like basically all the way to Russia to try and like get her back because he really likes her and he thinks that she's in danger, and he ends up like not eating, he gets like really thin and all, and you're like the whole way through you're like, oh my god, but she, you know that she does not feel for him in that kind of way, but they did have a nice little relationship before she was kidnapped, but he really took to her. And then at the end, obviously, you know, Mal is the MMC, so she ends up with the MMC. It's not a why choose. And then that there's a reason for that love triangle, because then that leads you into him in book 4.
Right.
So he then becomes the MMC in book 4, and again, very clever, she ends book 3 and sets you up exactly where you need to be for the start of book 4. Yeah. So that is quite clever, the way that she did that. So then that leads us in to book 4. Yeah, there's not really much to talk about. I would say that the book 1 was definitely the best one and definitely had the best plot.
As in, you could read book 1 and end on book 1, not go back to the others.
Oh, you definitely could, yeah. Yeah,
right.
You definitely could. You could read book 1 and just be done with it. Yeah. Easy. It's not like it ends on a cliffhanger where for their story is wrapped up. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? In book 1. But they are all very connected to each other, and they're all involved in each other's books. Oh, I will say, actually, in this, there's a daddy kink. So he is daddy in the series. He's the daddy. Like, oh. And it was very delicious. It wasn't overdone either, to the point where it's like cringe or too much. Okay, so book 4 is called Brutal Vows. I gave this 3 stars and 4 chili peppers. Audio only, and obviously we're in full cast territory now for the audio books because they're all involved in each other's books, and now we're on the 4th one. So we get a new female narrator in this one. And this is where I think I may have gone wrong. I think if I eyeballed this, I might have had a better time. I didn't like the female narrator in this role. Don't know why. She felt very, I don't know, it felt like she just had like this kind of like older woman that works in corporate kind of voice. God. And I wasn't really vibing with it at all. So basically, the premise of this, really fucking quickly actually, because not a lot happens in this at all in book 4. You've got Spider, who's the MMC, and Ray. who's the FMC. She's a brand new character in this. We've not seen her at all up until this point. So at the end of book 3, this isn't a spoiler for book 3 or Mal and Riley's story, by the way. This is how we set up for book 4. So at the end, Spider's sort of like down in the dumps because he was, you know, he wasn't chosen by Riley, basically, in his little love triangle. So he's like down in the dumps. And then Declan's sort of like, look, we need to make an allegiance with the Irish Mafia. So I want you to marry this person, this girl. And he's like, do you know what? Show me a picture of her. Let's see. So he looks at the picture, he goes, oh, she's not awful. Yeah, fuck it. I'll do it. I may as well. I've just been turned down. I'm a miserable prick and I may as well do something to... I might not love her, but I may as well do something. So he's like, yeah, fuck it. And that's how book 1 opens. So he ends up going to meet this girl that he's supposed to be marrying. Turns up and the girl's parents are no longer alive. And it's the aunt that basically looks after her. So he turns up, he meets the aunt and he's like, ooh, yeah, she's a bit me.
No!
To the aunt.
Yeah, he's in.
So the aunt starts talking, and obviously at this point, because I went in blind, I didn't realise that the aunt was going to be the FMC. So I was expecting the younger girl. So when the new voice started, I was like, whoa, that sounds way too old to be someone in their 20s.
Have we got a reverse age gap?
No. He's
confused.
still older. He's still older than her.
Okay.
But he was supposed to be marrying someone in their 20s.
Right.
And I was like, when she started talking, I was like, whoa, that voice is way older than its 20s. I was like, this has confused me. And then it wasn't long after I realised that she was going to be the FMC. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But now I feel like...
You've been cheated the whole time.
Yeah, and now I'm like, oh, I don't think I can get on with this voice. The voice just sounded a little bit too old and a bit like old woman corporate-y. Anyway, that's a me problem. That is absolutely a me thing. So he goes there and he's like, oh yeah, I like the aunt. She's a bit of me. Yeah, cool. And then she's sort of like a little bit sort of like bratty and sassy, you know, and he quite likes that. So they end up gravitating towards each other. He ends up meeting the girl that he's supposed to get married to. We fast forward to their wedding day, and instead of the girl that he's supposed to be marrying coming down the aisle, the aunt comes down the aisle instead in full-blown wedding dress. And he's like, what the fuck? And she's like, well, someone has to, it can't be her because she's up the duff with the guy that she's been seeing. So we're just going to allow them to be together, but the allegiance still needs to happen and we need someone female from the family, so I'm offering myself up. And he's like, okay then. Sure, we'll get married.
Oh, lordy!
So yeah, and then obviously that's where the love story kind of starts.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so arranged marriage or marriage of convenience, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of fucking in this one. I gave it 4 chilies. I didn't even say 3.5 to 4, just straight 4 because it just went on. It felt like it went on forever. Now, a lot of people have said that this book was their favourite along with book 1, and I am not sure why that is, and I don't know if maybe eyeballing this one would have been better. I felt like he was, although he was manly physically, I felt like he was more of a lover boy.
Right.
So he was a little bit, his temperament was a little bit lighter. He wasn't quite as aggressive.
Yeah, but do you think that's because he's like third in command? Like he's not one of the head honchos?
No, he was just like a lover boy. Like there wasn't much aggression to him. There wasn't, do you know what I mean? He sort of like bowed down to her immediately. There wasn't much, I don't know, there wasn't really much back and forth. It all happened really quick. And he likes to be praised as well. Like, so he enjoyed it when she would say like, good boy. And I would say she had more of a manly role in their relationship in regards to being maybe, more along the lines of being more of a dom than he was, because she was like praising him and talking him through it. And I was like, especially with considering I'd already said I didn't really like her voice, I then found that difficult to listen to, her saying those things in the spicy scenes, because I was like, I already don't really like your voice and now I've got to listen to you talk him through it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you know, him liking to be praised and stuff like that. I already said earlier I don't like it when a man gets on his hands and knees and tries to crawl to a woman.
No.
So this was not for me.
Yep.
All round. It just, obviously, I don't think it was ever going to be for me. But yeah, a lot of people do ask us about books with older main characters, and this one has 2 older main characters. So that was quite nice. But yeah, that was the other 3. I'm not sure how long I've been talking about that now, maybe about 20 minutes. But I've only got one more book left now, which is Orion Rule. So back to Tia.
Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is Steel and Sin by Ria Wilder. So this one, we have got Grumpy Cowboy MMC. Mafia Queen FMC.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. This sounds great.
Morally grey characters, small town, enemies to lovers. He's very jealous. Touch her and she's pierced.
Ooh.
Loved that. She's sassy as hell. He's got veiny arms.
Love that.
Yep.
Veiny forearms.
Yeah, forced proximity. It was all very, very delicious. So, my main thing about this one is that I love the fucking crossover between cowboy and mafia. Because I didn't see this coming, and I'm really glad that it happened. So we have got Eleanor and we have got Knox. So, Eleanor's father's passed away, which means she is now the queen of the mafia. However, her uncle and her sort of second in command guy that she's sort of sleeping with on the side want to take over. So they want to off her.
Oh.
So straight away at the beginning we get straight into the goods. So she's in a car with them and she's like kind of feeling like something weird's happening. So they're like trotting along in the car and then they just stop in the middle of the road. She's like, what the fuck's going on? Then there's this shootout. So she's like proper going for it. Anyway, she manages to escape. And she ends up in the mountains and she's been shot in the leg. She's like, I just need to get to somewhere. I don't want them to find me. So she ends up in this sort of barn situation. She's looking for some water and she finds some water. She's like got her little gammy leg. And then in comes Knox, the grumpy cowboy. Bit of backstory. So the mafia family have like done some dodgy dealings back in the day, which has meant that it's made ranching a lot harder. And basically that's why his ranch is now in a load of debt. So he doesn't like the mafia. He doesn't know who she is at this point. So he finds her. She's all like up in the air because she's like, oh, I don't want him to know who I am. Like all this stuff. He brings her in. He's like treating her. He gives her a nice bath. You know, he gives her some clothes. He's still grumpy as shit, but he's like half nice. Anyway, so because she doesn't trust him, she knocks him over the head with a gun.
Right.
Obviously. And then she tries to basically like leave. Anyway, she goes to sleep. They wake up the next morning and they agree that she will stay on the ranch and help out for a couple of months until she figures out who is on her side and who isn't. And then he will just basically like let her stay and protect her.
Gets nothing out of it.
He gets nothing out of it.
Yeah.
He will just let her stay. She did say to him actually that she will clear off his debts.
Oh, okay.
Once she gets out of this whole situation and she figures everything out.
Of it, yeah.
So, so she's like doing ranching business, the ranching lifestyle, shall we say. So most of it was her learning to ranch and them being all cute together and him being really grumpy and that, you know, like all the tension, little moments and scenes.
It sounds really good.
It was really, really good. And then like there was bits in the middle where the uncles would come, like the uncle and his little minions, or like people would come and then he would like get them off his property and like all that nice shit. So yeah, and then obviously like the relationship between them blossomed. I will talk about my favourite scene, which is like where it came together in a minute. But the relationship blossomed and I mean, they got obsessed with each other fast. Like there was this vet woman who like, they were talking to her and Knox were talking to each other and she was like watching them. And she got like proper possessive. And I was like, girl, I'm loving this for you. Let's do it. So that was really good. And then, I don't know, I just really enjoyed the fact, like, because where she was ranching and she didn't have to worry about all this mafia lifestyle. She had like her hair down and she was riding a horse and her hair was blowing in the wind. Oh. And it was all like, this is great for you, girl. You enjoy this. Because reality is going to hit you in the fucking face real quick. So you enjoy that. And obviously at the end, it's like your classic shootout vibes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I fucking loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars and I gave it 3 chilli peppaaazz. So my favourite scene in this, it was really fucking delightful. So there's this guy that's on the ranch called Chase and she like flirts with him sometimes to make Knox really grumpy, which is really great. So they were like doing some ranching business. So they was on their horses and they were like going up yonder and like setting up camp for the night to like do all of their cowboy things. So she was like talking to Chase. She was like, let's just have like little conversations so we can make him jealous. So like, they were doing that and he was getting proper grumpy. Anyway, she got lost and then Knox was like proper kicking off because he's like, Chase, you should have been looking after her. And Chase was like, I'm really sorry. Like, all this stuff. Anyway, so she was like, oh, fuck you. Like, I could look after myself. So she goes off, finds her, like, a nice little lake, takes all of her clothes off, gets in the lake, and she's just sort of lying there enjoying her life. And then she hears the twig go. And then she's like... And then, obviously, it's Knox. So Knox is standing there watching her, getting all hot and bothered. And she's like, come and join me if you want to. Ooh. And he's like... Okay, so he strips and she's like, oh my God, I didn't expect him to do this. Now what do I do? So she's like stood in the water and then they're both in the water. And he's like, I literally can't stop thinking about you. Like, I want you so bad. And she's like, well, just let it happen. And he said something about, he was like, do you actually like Chase? And she's like, what's not to like? Or she's like, you know, like winding him up. Yeah. And I was like, oh, something's going to happen and I cannot wait. So they're like, touching. Anyway, so she just says to him, touch me. So he like puts his hand down there and he's like, you're naked. She's like, duh. My clothes are over there. And he like touches her down there and he's like, that's when he realises that she's pierced and he goes, fucking feral. So he starts like scissoring her in the water and they're like grinding on each other. Anyway, and it's like proper all nice and heated and the lake is there and the moon is there and it's all bloody delightful. She finishes and then Chase is like calling them and then he's like, oh fuck, and she's like, no, don't do this. And he's like, I'm sorry, and he walks off and just leaves her there, deserts her because he's a prick. So he leaves her and she's like, what an absolute fucking dickhead. So she goes back up, they go to sleep, they wake up the next morning, they're both still angry, she won't really talk to him, and then they get back onto the ranch. So then the next day, obviously they're like bickering with each other because she's like, I can't believe you fucking done that. Like, and he's like, why are you angry at me? And she's like, because you're a fucking dick. Like, and they're like proper like fighting and logging heads. And then he goes straight up to her, strips her down, bottoms, like leaves her jeans on, but just so that they're down the bottom, pushes her up against the fence and just rams it home. It was so fucking good. I had the time of my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That sounds really great.
It was really, really good.
So good.
He literally done it with her, finished, and then he was like, I'm not done with you yet. Go back to my house and go to bed. Oh. Get in the bed. I'm coming to sort you out. Oh. And then they make passionate love all night long.
Oh, lordy.
And I'm telling you now, once they started, they carried on.
Didn't stop.
They didn't stop. It was really good. Proper cowboy as well.
Oh,
like
nice.
Proper dirty cowboy.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Proper aggressive, dirty, boot-wearing cowboy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And for everyone, like, obviously if you've watched the Cowboy Pod, we had a really hard time. Yeah. So I'm glad I got my fill.
Yeah, you feel like it's been redeemed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some kind of cowboy redemption.
And so the vet woman, so she ends up being a proper fucking bitch. Like, she calls her a whore and everything. You know, like, calls her a whore but not in front of him because she wants to flirt with him.
Yeah.
So there's this one scene and it's so fucking funny. She literally goes to kill her. As in, Eleanor, the FMC, goes to kill her and Knox is like, no, just calm down. She's like, she called me a whore. Like, it proper goes off. And I was like, oh, I'm having a great time.
Your Mafia domness is shining through
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. She really did.
The only solution to this problem is to
kill her. On the ranch with all the cowboys, she's like, oh, I'll just kill her.
Yeah.
That'll eliminate the problem.
Yeah.
Actually, call me a whore, I will kill you. Answer.
Imagine if you called someone a whore and then found out that they were the head of the mafia.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
You'd be like, I tell you what, give me the gun, I'll just do it.
Yeah. I'll do it, I'll make this easier.
Yeah, I'll just do it myself. Actually, give me a shovel, I'll go and dig the grave first, and then I'll come back, and then I'll shoot myself.
If you could just carry me there to the grave, that would be great.
We'll do. Actually, I'll get in the grave, and then I'll shoot myself.
Problem solved.
Yeah, you just bury me with a gun, then there's no evidence. You would though.
God.
Because you'd be like, actually, yeah.
Let's make this easy.
Now. Yeah. That is a situation where it would be easier to just pass away.
It would, physically, wouldn't it? Oh my God, I wouldn't want to deal with that.
No.
Not at all. So the ending, obviously it all goes off, but there's like a load of bits that come out. And I had a really great time. Like, I had a really, really great time.
Oh, that's good.
It was good.
Okay, am I on my last one now?
Yeah.
Fabuloso. Okay, so my last book is Orion Rule by Sadie Kincaid. This is actually free on Audible. It's only book 1 is free, by the way. So the series is New York Ruthless. Now Sadie Kincaid has she's got New York Ruthless, Manhattan Ruthless, London Ruthless. So this is a Why Choose series. She's a 5'4" fiery redhead, and then we have 4 very hot Irish mafia brothers. Ugh, delicious. So I gave this 4.5 stars, and I gave it 5 chili peppaaazz.
Chilies!
Because, oh boy. I mean, there was no sword crossing in this, so it's MFMMM. Yeah, MFMMM. There's no sword crossing. They're all brothers. And we read her Christmas novella, which was, I think it's called Orion Christmas, last year or the year before. Bloody hell, I can't even remember now. I think it was the year before. And we really enjoyed it. That was actually really good.
Yep, loved it.
And was that the one with the tattoo scene?
Yeah.
Oh my god, insane. And that gave me a taste for what this series was like. And ever since then, I've been like, yeah, I do really want to start this series. But I think when you know that there's a lot of books involved, and especially considering the amount of novellas as well, it can be a bit daunting. But it was free on Audible, and the first book isn't that long, so I just thought, fuck it, may as well. And I do love a Why Choose, so Why Choose Mafia is right up our street. Okay, so we've got Jesse as the FMC, and then we have the Ryan brothers. So we have Shane, Connor, and then the twins, Mikey and Liam. So Jessie's a hacker, and she gets caught in the crossfires of a showdown when the Irish mafia, the Irish brothers, storm the Russian mob's house that she's been staying in. So she's sort of been forced to stay and sleep with the head of the Russian mafia, and they storm the place. There's a big showdown, and then they take her away with them back to their place, and obviously they all then fall in love.
Classic.
And that is basically the long and short of it. That is literally, that's it.
Nice.
She goes there, she stays with them, and then she ends up being like, well, what can I do for you? Blah, blah, blah. She's also not really who she sort of says she is fully, and eventually they kind of find that out, and then the reasons why she wasn't honest become apparent, and it kind of, it obviously makes them fall more in love with her, but there are parts where they feel like they can't trust her and stuff because she's been lying or whatever. But yeah, she falls in love with all of them. And there's the spice. Oh, if you've read any Sadie Kincaid, especially Sadie Kincaid, Why Choose? Oh, fucking hell. You'll know she knows how to write those scenes. There's a scene, the first time that she gets with the twins, she's on the sofa with them. And the very first time she does it with them, so any penetration with them at all, she goes full DVP. Yep. It was either DP or DVP, but either way, both are extreme.
Yeah.
And I actually have a note that says, go on, girl. Because what do you mean the first time you're doing it with 2 people? Ever. Not just now, ever. You're going straight in with the DP. So, yeah.
You'd at least go one in the front, one in the mouth, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for your first go.
Yeah,
but yeah, DP.
Work up to the old.
Yeah. So there was a lot of DP. There was quite a few DP scenes. There was no full group scenes, but there is a quote in this where he, again, I'm going to put it in my quote wrap up for the month, but where one of them does mention about, if you're lucky, we'll all fuck you at the same time. And I was like, I can't wait. So we don't get any full group scenes in this, but it is obviously a taster for the rest of the series. You can't get it all in one, do you know what I mean? Otherwise, why would you read the rest?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm definitely going to continue on, and I will continue with the audio. I really fucking enjoyed it. It's so Sadie Kincaid coded as well. It's just, I feel like if you didn't know it was her that wrote this, you would probably read it and be like, this reads like a Sadie Kincaid book. This is Sadie
Kincaid, yeah.
100%.
Oh, that is delightful.
I fucking loved it. It was so close to being a 5-star, honestly. It was so good. The Irish accent, I was sort of like, it's not great, but I got over it.
Yeah.
I got over it, especially as soon as he started doing a bit of DP. I was like, I'm over it.
I'm fine now.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Absolutely fine.
Yeah. I'm in.
And that's it, really. I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, the spice was fucking insane. It was so good. Actually, there is a scene where one of the brothers takes her shopping. This is actually probably my favourite scene, because she obviously left with nothing.
Yeah.
She doesn't have anything. So he's like, I'm going to take you shopping. Obviously, they've got loads of money. And she's sort of like a really simple girl where she just wears like jeans and t-shirts and stuff. And he's like, you know, trying to put her in these like lovely, gorgeous, skimpy dresses and stuff like that. And they have a personal shopper in the shop. And he says to the shopper, he's like, get me some underwear as well. And he basically just sits there and he's like, come on then, get changed. So she basically just undresses in front of him and just starts putting on like all this nice underwear and all these nice clothes. Yeah. And then he takes her into the changing room and does her up against the mirror.
Yeah, nice. That makes sense, to be fair, because you would.
Yeah, it was really good. Honestly. It was really, really, just the way it was, where it was sort of like man spread, you know, like that, just watching, and she's getting undressed, and you're in his head, and he's like, oh my god, you know.
Yeah. A man spread.
Yeah.
There's something about a man spread that really fucking does it. A man spread with a whiskey as well. Fuck
man
off.
spread with a whiskey in one hand.
Fuck off.
Oh, I was like when we were watching those interviews of Gabe Kapler, and he was man spread and he had a whiskey in one hand, and I was like, yeah.
You know, I will crawl.
Yeah, if I seen that in real life though, I'd be like, oh, who do you think he is? Fucking knob.
Yeah,
and
prick.
then, yeah, I would be like, ugh, give me the ick. I would actually probably be slightly enraged about it as well. At the audacity of that man thinking he's something special. You know what I mean? In real life. But in a book, I'm like, oh, let me just get my knees and crawl over to you right now.
And Gabe Kapler.
Yeah.
He's allowed.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, so we're on to our last ones now. We've saved what I think is going to be the best one, and probably the one that most people are going to be looking forward to hearing about, I will say. And it is the Rina Kent ones. So you're going to do Kiss the Villain and Hunt the Villain.
Yay! Yay, me! Okay, so I'll start with Kiss the Villain. So, I had small little problems with this one. So I'll do a quick rundown. So we have got Professor Student, Age Gap, Bi and Gay Awakening, Forbidden Romance, Dom Sub Situation, Fit Professor, Blonde Student, blonde curly hair, little cutie, and he calls Gareth's booty hole his pussy. That's just one of many issues I have with this book. That threw me off every single time. That didn't stop, even when they realised they are probably gay now. He carried on with that. And that was really fucking annoying. Anyway, so we have got Gareth Carson. So, one thing about this is, obviously, if you've read all the other Rina books, you will know all of these people. I had no fucking idea who most of these people were. But I rolled with it. So we have got Gareth Carson, who at the beginning, he is at a party and he's looking for Julian. So Julian is the MMC in Hunt the Villain. Looking for Julian because he's going to drug him and basically humiliate him on the internet. So he wanted to drug him, get him passed out, Gareth would get his cock out, basically come on Julian and then take a picture of it, put it on the internet. However, the guy that he's got in the bedroom isn't Julian. It's some other random guy in a mask. And this said random ends up getting a gun out and basically forces Gareth on his knees and throat fucks him. Just some mild essay. And then Gareth's kind of like, I'm not sure about this. Or am I enjoying it? You know, like it's one of those situations. So later on, he then realises that the guy that has had him on his knees is his professor, Caden. And yeah, it all sort of blossoms from there. But the issue is that the Caden Grayson relationship is that Grayson doesn't think he's gay, and Caden, every time he does something sexual with Grayson, is telling Grayson, but you're really enjoying this though. You really want this. You want this, don't you? And it just wasn't written very well. Like, I've read some dark things. So when I read it, I'm like, okay, I can take that. That's fine. Whereas this, I can't even explain what went through my head when I was reading it, but I just didn't really enjoy it that much. And it wasn't probably until about page 250 where I was like, okay, I'm into this now. And that was when the plot sort of kicked in.
Yeah.
So there's more going on with Caden and his life, which I won't say because I don't want to ruin it. But when that plot kicked in, I was like, okay, I'm ready, let's do this. because the first sort of 250 pages was them blossoming their relationship. And yeah, it was hard work. It was.
Because a lot of people, I think that, was it Larry Reid's? I think she was like basically, or people are trying to like cancel her, weren't they?
Yeah.
She makes a joke about it now, but people cancelled her for being so forthright and open about not enjoying this book. I think there's definitely ways that you can articulate yourself. You know, I don't remember what she said. I don't even know if I actually watched the video or not, but I do know that she was basically cancelled for it. But, do you feel like you can see why everyone that said that they really didn't like it, why they didn't like it?
So I think looking at the reviews, everyone DNF'd around the point where I started to enjoy it.
Okay, yeah.
And I understand, because it was just a lot of unnecessary smut and no background to what might even happen going forward.
Yeah.
I mean, it was full cast, so I did enjoy the audio, but I just the beginning of it was just a bit like...
a bit icky. Yeah.
I'm not sure about this. I gave it 3.5 stars because obviously the end of it... and it was full cast, and you've got to love me some full cast.
Absolutely.
And the spice was a 4 because these two doing booty things. Booty things! It was more their characters in general that I was like, yeah. Like, Grayson was in a coffee shop with some of the other lads that are in, like, the Legacy of God series. And he looks over and Caden is with this other woman. And so Grayson's like, who the fuck is that? So he messages him and he's like, you've got 5 seconds to leave that woman there. I don't know if you're on a date or whatever, but you need to leave. And he looks at his phone and he just doesn't go. And it's just, like, just little bits like that are just really fucking funny. So I did enjoy that. So overall, fine.
Yeah.
And then I did go into the Hunt the Villain. I didn't even look into Hunt the Villain. I went into Hunt the Villain thinking that it was going to be something like the same MMCs, but maybe one of them got kidnapped or some shit. I don't know. Yeah. So when I found out it was different people, I was like, fuck yes, let's do it. I'm so fucking glad I read this because it was fucking insane. So again, full cast audio, 13 hours, 6 minutes. We had the likes of Teddy Hamilton, Grayson Owen, Sebastian York, Shane East, Brooke Daniels.
Yes.
Just incredible work from all involved. I don't even know where to start with this because I had such a fucking good time. So, Julian and Vaughn. So we start off with Julian and Vaughn. They're both 15 and 16. And they are second in command to the mafia. So one is New York and one is Chicago. And Julian's dad is so fucking aggressive towards him, like beats him, is horrible, and wants Julian to be more like Vaughn. So they kind of end up being in like a sort of mentor situation, and like the sexual tension between them, even at that age, is still like, whoo! So anyway, so they end up going to the woods, and these people end up like going after them. So Julian ends up taking a bullet for Vaughn, and then Vaughn's like, let's go to a cave, like, I've got to save you. So they end up going to like this little cave down yonder so that they can hide out. And they end up having like this really nice heart-to-heart, and they're both like looking at each other's lips and like they're getting closer and all this stuff. Anyway, so they end up falling asleep, and Julian's like looking up at Vaughn, and he knows that Vaughn's asleep, but he's like, he just wants to touch his lips to his own.
Oh, yeah.
So he ends up kissing him, and then Vaughn doesn't move, so he's like, oh, I just won't say anything. We'll just pretend that didn't happen. And then when Julian wakes up in the next morning, Vaughn's gone. So then we go, cut to 4 years later. They've obviously like done more mafiaing. Julian's now like a proper slut. Like he will fuck anything that moves. Ooh. Vaughn's with another woman. They haven't really like had a connection with each other since 4 years ago. So they are completely separated. Vaughn is then at dinner with his girlfriend, long-term girlfriend, and Julian walks in. So Julian's like proper gang vibes, like he's like proper little slag. Everyone knows who he is. He's like top notch. So he walks in, and then Vaughn like senses him straight away, and he's like, he like can't stop looking at him. So his girlfriend's like trying to have a conversation with him, but he's like looking at Julian. Julian's like goes over and they have like this little conversation, like a little sort of like battle. chat, and then they go their separate ways. Anyway, so then we cut to Vaughn's at home. His girlfriend has left. She's got to go and do some mafia business with her family. And then Julian had left his phone number under the girlfriend's napkin. So she's called him, and he's like, come over to my hotel. Let's have conversations. So she's turned up. They've ended up fucking each other. Julian has recorded it and sent it to Vaughn. And the reason that Julian wanted to fuck her is because she had just fucked Vaughn, and he wanted to feel Vaughn inside her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because obviously Julian still wants Vaughn. Anyway, so that all happens. Vaughn then breaks up with her. That's all over. And then what happens is they end up on like this little revenge hype. So they're both doing stuff to each other until it all snaps. And they
Come together.
Nice. And do it in the polls. So the bit where it snaps was just fucking absolute perfection. So they're like on a cliff edge, and Julian just wants to talk to Vaughn, and Vaughn's not really having any of it. So Julian jumps off the fucking cliff. He's like, well, I either jump off the cliff or you talk to me. If I jump off the cliff and I survive, maybe you'll talk to me then. Like, we'll just see what happens. He's like, you won't do that. He does it. So he jumps off the cliff. Vaughn has to then go save him, takes him back with him, and then nurses him to a better form. And they end up doing a nice little 69er.
Oh, nice.
I know!
Nice.
Delicious. And then my favourite scene is... So to get over Vaughn, Julian goes out. So he's happy to like fuck anything that moves, really. And he's got this guy called Kevin. You know, classic Kevin.
Yeah.
Here's Kevin. I've got the quote as well. Oh, lordy. So Kevin and these two girls, and normally they'll just all fuck each other and it's all lovely. But he's out and he can't even get hard. So he's like, Kevin's not doing it for me. He's like, Kevin, let's just go to my room. Let's see if we can make this work. Goes in the room, out of nowhere, Kevin's up against the wall, has literally been shoved up against the wall because Vaughn's in the room.
Oh.
Yeah! Vaughn's like, get the fuck out of here. To Kevin, so Kevin like scarpers off. So then Julian's like, oh, this is nice. I've got my man back. And Vaughn says to him, I'm telling you, Julian, I find you flirting with someone else again, grinding against them, letting them put their fucking hands on you, I'll skin them alive. I'm fucking serious. I will hurt you if you don't keep your dick in check. Vaughn. And that was the first scene. Because Julian doesn't let anyone fuck him. Like, ever. He does the fucking. And that was when he let Vaughn fuck him. And Vaughn's, I mean, they're big guys, obviously. And Vaughn's like, I can't do it with you. I will hurt you. Because he's so massive. And Julian was like, look, you won't, trust me, you won't hurt me. Get it in me right now. And honestly, that would be really loud, but honestly, these two together, it was something else. That's it, really.
Oh, do you need to lay down now?
Yeah. I need to lay down and a little think about it.
A little reminisce.
Time.
So you gave it?
Yeah, I forgot about that bit. So I rated it 5 stars and 4 chillis.
Only 4 chillis?
Yeah. Yeah, because there was a lot of plot. Like, because you had bits with Julian and his dad. Like, that got really bad. Probably thinking about it, it might even be a 3.5. Because there was a lot of plot. There was a lot of plot. And it, like, the revenge parts in it, I mean, to be fair, once they started fucking, they did go at it like rabbits. But they did get parted sort of in between, and then they came back together.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it.
Yeah.
That was our first Mafia Romance one. We're going to try and make this a series at least all the way up until the brunch. So maybe like one a month, one Mafia podcast a month. I've got some others I really do want to read. And like I said earlier,
same.
I really want to read the LJ Shen verse as well and make a bit of a dent in that. And I want to carry on with the Orion Rule series. I'm not a big Mafia girly, but I am excited to see if I can find my niche within the Mafia genre.
Oh, we need to
sense.
do the auction. Sadie Kincaid's
We
the
need to do the
auction. That's coming out.
Yeah, Sadie Kincaid. We'll do that as well, definitely. Sadie Kincaid is like a fail-safe for something like Mafia, isn't she? Okay, so that's it. Next podcast is 5 chilies, and then after that is Why Choose. Those 2 are not movable because we've already started reading the books. So
Woo!
we'll see you on the next one.
See you on the flip side.
Cheers.
Cheers.